order out of Jimmy's chaos. The dead rats properly bagged again, he reached into the chilly chamber and pulled the first of the two big bags forward. It had been rent from top to bottom, most of its contents on full display. Otis opened his mouth and screamed as shrilly as Jimmy, was still screaming when Cecil erupted out of the monkey room. Then, not seeming to notice Cecil, he turned and ran out of animal care, down the halls, into the foyer, out the entrance, legs opening and closing in a punishing run down 11th Street to his home on the second floor of a shabby three-family house. Celeste Green was having coffee with her nephew when Otis burst into the kitchen. They leaped to their feet, Wesley's passionate diatribe about Whitey's crimes forgotten. Celeste went for the smelling salts while Wesley put Otis on a chair. Back with the bottle, she pushed Wesley roughly out of her way. "You know your trouble, Wes? You always in the way. You didn't get in Otis's way all the time, he wouldn't call you a good-for-nothing kid. Otis, honey, wake up." Otis's skin had faded from a warm, deep brown to a pasty gray that didn't improve when the ammoniac vapors were jammed under his nose. But he came around, jerked his head away. "What is it? What's the matter?" Wesley was asking. "A piece of woman," Otis whispered. "A what?" sharply from Celeste. "A piece of woman. In the fridge at work with the dead rats. A pussy and a belly." He began to shake. Wesley asked the only question that mattered to him. Was she a white woman or a black woman? "Don't bother him with that, Wes," Celeste cried. "Not black," Otis said, hands going to his chest. "But not white neither. Colored," he added, slipped forward off the chair, and fell to the floor. "Call an ambulance. Go on, Wes. Call an ambulance." Which came very quickly due to two fortunate facts. One, that the Holloman Hospital was just around the corner, and the other that business was slack this hour of morning. Still very much alive, Otis Green was put into the ambulance with his wife crouched beside him. The apartment was left to Wesley LeClaire. He didn't linger there, not with news like this. Mohammed El Nesser lived at 1815th Street, and he had to be told. A piece of woman. Not black, but not white either. Colored. That meant black to Wesley, as it did to all the members of Mohammed's Black Brigade. Time that Whitey was called to account for 200 years and more of oppression, of treating black people as second-rate citizens, even as beasts without immortal souls. When he'd gotten out of prison in Louisiana, he'd decided to come north to Tante Celeste in Connecticut. He yearned to make a reputation as a black man who mattered, and that was easier to do in a part of the nation less prone than Louisiana to throw blacks in jail if they looked sideways. Connecticut was where Mohammed El Nesser and his Black Brigade hung out. Mohammed was educated, had a doctorate in law. He knew his rights. But for reasons that Wesley saw every day when he looked in a mirror, Mohammed El Nesser had dismissed Wesley as worthless, a plantation black, a nobody, nothing. Which hadn't dampened Wesley's ardor. He intended to prove himself in Holloman, Connecticut. So much so that one day Mohammed would look up to him, Wesley LeClaire, plantation black. Cecil Potter had soon discovered what sent Otis screeching out of animal care, but he wasn't a panicky man. He did not touch the contents of the refrigerator, nor did he call the cops. He picked up the phone and dialed the prof's extension, knowing full well that the prof would be in his office even at this hour. His only peace happened early in the mornings, he always said. But not, thought Cecil, this morning. "It's a sad case," said Lieutenant Carmine Delmonico to his uniformed colleague and nominal superior, Captain Danny Marciano. "With no other relatives we can find, the kids will have to go into the system." "You're sure he did it?" "Positive. The poor guy tried to make it look like some stranger busted in, but there's his wife and her lover in the bed, and her lover's cut up some, but she's mincemeat. He did it. My bet is that he'll confess later today voluntarily." Marciano rose to his feet. "Now let's get some breakfast." His phone rang. Marciano wriggled his brows at Carmine and picked up. Within 3 seconds, the police captain had stiffened, lost all contentment. He mouthed, "Silvestri," at Carmine, and commenced a series of nods. "Sure, John."